Hey, we back. Welcome back to the Slice. We've all had a bit of time now to cool down after Wimbledon and all the craziness that was happening there. The big eagle coming in, taking out Roger Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, crazy semifinals. It was all nuts, and now we've cooled down. But it's about to heat back up because the American hardcourt summer is here, and strangely enough, the first tournament's big tournament is in Canada. Even stranger enough, Federer is not at the Rogers Cup, and neither am I, even though it's in Canada. But the tournament's still going to be great. So here's the slice on all the happenings at this year's Rogers Cup. Well, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How are you? It's been like almost 3 weeks, I think. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what the biggest thing that you think has happened in tennis since the last video has been. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. And also click the link in the description to go to the Patreon account where you can donate to the Slice a couple dollars a month to help us keep going. But I'm stoked to be back, and there's some big things happening. Obviously, starting with the Rogers Cup. But before we get into that, the City Open, I think it was in Washington, D.C. Might have had that wrong. Andy Murray's come back, and he played pretty well. He won a few matches, a few tight, classic Andy Murray matches where he grinded it out. And then he pulled out of the tournament, and he's not in the Rogers Cup. So do you guys know what's going on with his hip? Let me know in the comment section. I haven't been able to really find anything as far as other than gossip. But he kind of was like limping in the last match he won, and he was like, and then he cried. He broke down. And I was like, is he crying because he knows that his hip is done and is not getting better and it still actually hurts him? Let me know what you think. But on to the Rogers Cup. Roger Federer is not at his own cup. That's why it's called Rogers Cup, right, guys? But everybody else is, and it's a super tough field, especially for Rafael Nadal, who's the #1 player in the world and the #1 seed there. I'm putting him, I would say, on upset alert because he has a very tough route to the final. He's playing all big hitters. Next, he plays Benoit Paire, but then it could be Kyrgios, then Cilic, then either Del Potro or Isner, and then either in the final, Djokovic, Zverev, etc. So, yeah, obviously tough for him. And on the American hard courts, he didn't do too well last year other than, winning the U.S. Open. But in Montreal, he lost to Denis Shapovalov, who's in the draw again, obviously. And a year into – this is like the year debut of Denis Shapovalov being a factor, being in big time, being a baller, a Canadian baller on the scene. And we'll see what he can do at this year's. But last year, Shapovalov took out Nadal, and I broke down why. I don't know if I'll link it up there. Hard courts are obviously not Nadal's greatest surface, but he can obviously still play well on any surface. So we'll see, but he does definitely not, the draw has definitely not done him any favors this time playing the people that he might have to play. But you never know. Those guys, Kyrgios and Cilic, could lose early. And then if it's like in major, I feel like in Masters it's honestly sometimes harder. Like the bigger guys are in more danger earlier because there's not as many rounds where they're playing like a qualifier like in a major. And once guys like Nadal, Federer, Djokovic get a few rounds under their belt and get rolling, it's been historically hard to stop them, to say the least. Now, Djokovic plays Hyung Chung first tomorrow morning or this morning or whenever you're watching this, which is going to be an interesting matchup from, the Australian Open where Hyung Chung obviously beat Djokovic and caused a massive upset and just was like kind of put Chung on the map. Chung, the Quadzilla. We'll see if he can do any damage. I haven't heard that much from Chung actually since really the Australian Open. And Djokovic just won Wimbledon, so I'm obviously calling for no upset there. But Djokovic is on the bottom half of the draw, but the entire draw is just solid and everyone's playing and they're going to be stoked. I feel like this part of the season is one of the, the better times of the season when everyone's kind of got their game hopefully fine-tuned. It's not too late in the season where they're like getting injured yet, but they probably might start getting injured now and having to pull back. But it's an exciting time because we got the Rogers Cup and then we got Cincinnati, which I went to last year and got denied a media credential for this year again. Rest in peace, Western and Southern Open. Sipping on the haterade. But I'm going to be making videos from here in the comfort of my own home on all of it. And then we got the U.S. Open. So people are asking, who's the favorite to win the U.S. Open? They're asking me this on Instagram. If you don't follow us yet on Instagram, go at the Slice Tennis. Who's the favorite to win the U.S. Open? Yeah, pretty hard to tell right now because these two lead-up tournaments basically set the tone for the U.S. Open. So we're going to see people that I would predict now as, the main guys would be, you have to put Rafael Nadal up there. You got to put Nadal or Djokovic up there. You got to put Federer up there. Oh, what's this sounding like? The good old days, the golden era of tennis. Is it back? Murray's not really here, but, was he ever really there? Just kidding, Murray fans. Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer are the three biggest favorites to win the U.S. Open, at least unless any of them get injured on the way there. And I think that's when tennis is the best, is when these guys are playing their best. So it's going to be sick. Obviously, the Eagle is in contention now after making the final of Wimbledon, playing unbelievable tennis. John Isner's been playing well all season long. Del Potro's been playing well all season long. So there's a lot of guys who can kill it on these hard courts. And we're going to see what happens. So I'm excited. So there is a quick preview of the Montreal or the Toronto Rogers Cup for the men. I want you to let me know in the comment section who you think is going to win the Rogers Cup, and try and figure out why I'm not there. I can't figure it out either. It's like I'm Canadian, and I should be over there. It's actually really far away. I live on the very, very west coast, right by the ocean in Canada, but I should be probably at the Rogers Cup. So things are popping off. Also, let me know in the comment section, what do you think Roger Federer's doing with all his time off right now? Who really knows, right? The guy's a myth. He's a legend. So he's not going to be at Rogers Cup, but he will be at Cincinnati. The exact opposite of what he was last year when I went to Cincinnati to see him, and then he wasn't there. But thanks for watching again, guys. I love that you guys are here. Get active, get funny in the comments section. And as always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And let's see what happens at this Rogers Cup. And I'll be giving you updates, and we'll be kicking it off together in this great time to be alive as a tennis fan. Thanks for watching, folks. Hit the subscribe button and follow us at The Slice Tennis on Instagram for updates. And it's the best place where you can ask me questions and we can dialogue about tennis and everything else that we love in the world. Thanks for watching. I love all of you.